By our friends at Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia. My name is Rapid. I'm here with Nero, and we're going to go ahead and start jumping into our first set of the evening. It's going to be a game between World Elite Academy and Invictus Gaming. You see the show starting up there on your stream. So while we go over a few of the highlights, we'll let you guys see those on stream and here in a second. Let's go ahead and check out some of these standings. And to be honest, last week we saw a very big contrast in these standings, Nero, but with some teams sort of solidifying themselves as the best, and of course down there at the bottom as well. It's nice to see things like shaping up instead of having big ties everywhere.
Yeah, there's still going to be things mixing up later on after the games today. And there's still some catching up left for Invictus Gaming, so that's a really good game for them to win. And actually, they're looking a little bit shaky, so we'll see. World Elite Academy, they have a good chance of winning this one, especially after picking up some experienced players. For example, in the top lane, they have Khan. Well, they have Mickey God from the solo queue. In the middle lane or jungle, we actually don't really know just of yet where he's going to be playing, because they are experimenting with the players all the time. But World Elite Academy, they're looking fresh right now, like really bringing a lot of new stuff to LPL. On the other hand, LGD is looking kind of good. They won some really interesting matchups, but lately they have fallen down by a little bit. On the other hand, of course, EDG, they had kind of weak previous week, but now they're coming back into strength with the IEM qualifiers. They went beast mode against OMG, so we'll see. There's still everything to be said in the standings. There's definitely going to be some changes right there.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about, so we got two matchups coming your way. It's two best of twos. If you guys are unfamiliar with the way that the LPL rankings work, it's best of two series. If you win, you get 3 points. If you win both games, you get 3 points. If you tie, each team gets 1 point. And of course, if you lose, then you lose 3 points. And of course, that is not the way to get yourself all the way up to the top of the standings. So it is not looking good for quite a few of these teams. Or if you lose, you get 0. So I should clarify that. So not looking good.
You lose the 3 points that you could get for winning.
Exactly. So there's potential 3 points that you could get that you just don't get anymore. And of course, you can see down at the bottom of the standings, Young Glory and World Elite Academy, both with very few points in their columns. World Elite actually World Elite Academy actually 11 points behind their sister team there in World Elite, who's currently sitting at second place. So OMG, they've really gotten a hand on not only just the top of the standings, but really I feel like they've meshed back in with Cool on their team. With Jiang for so long in the previous split, he really stepped up and did a great job there in the mid lane. But when Cool came back in, it was a little bit of growing pains to get him reiterated back into the team, or reintegrated back into the team. Now Cool's back, the team's back, everything's looking good. And honestly, OMG are one of the only teams that haven't gone out and gotten a Korean player. They actually made several statements on their Weibo and several other posts saying, hey, you know, we're not maybe looking, but we're not actually thinking about replacing anybody just yet. Our team's doing great. They have been doing good, but I don't know. With OMG at the top, what do you think is going to be the really big next team to sort of try to catch them for first place?
Well, just look at the standings. We have such powerhouses as Edward Gaming on the 4th place, World Elite on the 2nd right now. In the previous split, actually, World Elite and Invictus Gaming were kind of struggling to get up there to the top of the standings. Right now, World Elite is looking so strong. This hero coach is helping them a lot, of course. They are also bringing a lot of new stuff to the table. Actually, I think that they were the first ones to play Nami for quite a long time in the LPL. Well, Starhorn, they are bringing Insec, and they're still in this kind of midpoint where they're not the best and not the worst. They are still developing all the time. They need to develop the communication at most, and then they will be looking for this first spot. And OMG is definitely not secure up there, because Edward Gaming, they seem to be beating them at all the LAN parties, They won at IET, they won at IEM qualifiers and all this stuff like that. But Elwood Gaming is actually at 4th place, so they will be looking for some more points for themselves, definitely.
And I think there is a big difference between the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams. LGD kind of the wild card, but they and Invictus Gaming have a little bit of a history, stemming back to a couple of weeks ago when IG should have won their best of 2 versus LGD, but threw both of the games super hard. So LGD, they're going to be playing in our second series versus EDG, and I gotta say, in the battle of the triple letter acronyms, I think LGD can pull a little bit of an upset. EDG has sort of the bottom of the top 4, of course, sitting in 3rd place right there. They've got some things to work on, let's put it that way. So we'll see exactly what they can do. LGD, they got the 2-0 victory a couple weeks ago over IG. Got themselves up to, I think at the time it was 3rd place, but as the tiebreakers change up, then it's changed around just a little bit. So LGD, they got some work to do, but that should be actually a really good series to watch. I'm excited to see that. I think LGD can pull it back. EDG, of course, still very strong, so a little bit favored in that matchup. But it looks like we are about to start getting into our first best of 2 of the night. And, of course, while we watch the theme song play in here, I gotta say, IG, they've got some stuff to prove tonight. They are towards the bottom of the standings, but World Elite Academy, they brought in some new players, and I want to see them do well. I want to see Mickey God come out of Korean solo queue and just crush some faces, but he hasn't quite done that just yet. World Elite Academy, of course, at the bottom of the standings, looking to make their way back on up.
But also, they've picked up 1 game over Young Glory. They were actually tied up at the last place. Finally, they come out of there, and that's really good for them. Actually, no, it's Young Glory winning the game, so I'm really sorry. So, well, but the bottom of the standings pretty much split up, but just 1 point, but it did. So all of the teams tonight have a lot to prove. We have World Elite Academy, who have picked up new players, and they need to win some games finally, because it's getting really late in the split. And they need to get some points if they don't want to get relegated once again. So World Elite Academy, they have a lot of proof. Of course, Invictus Gaming, they picked up their new top laner, who still looks kind of shaky, and they still need to win. They are at the 6th place at the moment. There's not the good place for IG to be in. They're such a huge powerhouse too. EDG, they have lost a game the previous week, and they were looking kind of shaky in the previous week. But actually, as I said, IEM, they got really strong and they kind of crushed OMG, so that's really weird. So they will definitely want to grab 2-0 right here. And LGD, they actually are looking for some kind of an opening that might actually be EDG, not looking at their best in the previous week. So they will also be looking for at least 1 game to pick up.
Right, and you can see some previous matches updating there on the screen for you, giving you some stats. Of course, the big news out of last week of the LPL was not just 1, 2, 3, or 4 kills, but they were pentakills. And I took a look through the highlights of those streams, and or of those games rather, and Wei Zhao's victory was just dominant. I haven't seen that guy play that good in a very long time. So it's nice to see World Elite really starting to step up. Wei Zhao, I think Wei Zhao got a penta. Who was the other penta? Because I think there was 2 last week. I'm trying to remember. It's not coming to me right now, but I'll see if I can get some stats on that in just a second. Pentakills happened last week or yesterday, I believe it was. We'll see if we can get a few of those today.
Yeah, so Wei Zhao, he got like 15 kills or even more on this Corki. It was just overwhelming, so it's really good to see him playing so well. And Frostgreen, our other caster, said that Xiaomei is having his best split of his life, and now Wei Zhao is looking so good too. So World Elite, they are definitely looking good, but well, World Elite Academy, on the other hand, they need to work a lot. And
yeah,
IG,
you can see we've got caster predictions up on the screen right now, and everybody's giving it 2-0 to Invictus Gaming to start things out. So WEA Academy, they may not be getting any votes from these casters. I still like Mickey God has a soft spot in my heart for him, just because I think he can do some great things. He just really needs to mesh into this sort of professional place setting coming out of Korean solo queue and having to deal with the language barrier. There's a lot he has left to do. World League Academy, of course, as a team, have a lot left to prove. See if they can bring that out here tonight versus IG. So it does appear as if the game will be starting here in just a second. First of all, let's go ahead and check out some of the teams. We got World Elite Academy up on your screen right now. You can see a 1 golden victory. Of course, that is versus versus Young Glory. YG, not IG. But if they can beat YG, we'll see if they can beat IG coming up here. Of course, we'll throw up some IG stats here in a second. After we, of course, go over the starting lineup for World Elite Academy. You can see Khan there on the stream. Plays 2 of my favorite champions, Jax and Aurelia. And honestly, his Jax play has been looking fairly good. But he plays that sort of split push style of Jax where he's like, hey, I can maybe win my lane sometimes, but that's a struggle World Elite Academy has always had. It's like, hey, we can win our lanes, but what do we do after that? Of course, there you can see Soist on your stream with some very aggressive jungle picks that have been met with dubious effectiveness. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so Soist is considered actually a really, really good player in the jungle. And Mickey God, when he went into the team, he was in the jungle once, but he actually is considered really good on the middle lane. So that's why they switched them up. And there was Shia in the middle lane where Mickey was in the jungle, then is Soist in the jungle, and once again we have Mickey God in the middle lane, so they are switching the things up. So that's what I said at the very beginning. And well, let's see, Mickey, he seems to be a god actually, so well, we'll see how he manages to play in the game. And I'm really curious to see Soist play, because I heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, changing up that, and that's one of the big things that Mickey God brought. He doesn't like main one role. He plays everything. And so you can switch him up if you want to move him around there. And of course there you can see the duo lane. SMLZ, a big source of strength for his team, but just really hasn't had that all-star showing that the duo lanes really need to stack up against some of the best lanes in LPL. Of course, they'll be going up against IG, and I think Kid's ready for this.
Yeah, so this will be a good matchup in the top lane, definitely, because Khan is... his Jax is considered so good, and Youngsu, on the other hand, he was like the most disappointing Korean coming into the LPL, this split. Of course, he's worked on what he was doing actually a lot, so he's improved. But still, I think that Khan may actually win this matchup in the top lane, so that's the hope of World Elite Academy actually. Because we see Kid going into this hyper carry stance. So most probably bottom lane is going to go for IG. But yeah, the top lane is the thing to look forward to.
Yeah, of course, there you can see Kitties. We're going to go moving on through the roster. And of course, some interesting comments being made here about Kid. And honestly, through a superstar roster of IG, Kid has not only remained, but he has been kind of the most polarizing person on the team. When IG do well, Kid just destroys everybody. But honestly, in some situations, Kid gets very aggressive, overextends, and winds up throwing the game. Of course, talking about throwing games, it's something that Zatai also knows about. He has carried IG like almost harder than anyone else. But you can see that Zillion in the middle on your screen. And you're just like, why is there a Zillion being played by IG? And of course, that is not a win in their category. Worked out very well, carried his lane, but just couldn't win the game off the back of that. Kind of the story of Zatai's life.
Yeah, okay, but there comes the 4.10 patch. You can see the scanner right there. So if the Zillion with a scanner comes up once again, this will be actually really interesting. But of course, Fiddlesticks on Illusion. He is a legendary Fiddlesticks player, but actually couldn't really... he pulls it off. And it's not the top tier pick at the moment, let's be honest. So we'll see. But the team comps coming in right now can be really vast right there because of the 4.10 patch. It changed such a lot in the game. And we'll get to see some new stuff right here, I'm quite sure of that.
Yeah, so I'm going to be really interested to see the bottom lanes, of course. 410 patch changes those lanes incredibly. No more Bloodthirster rushes. I mean, if you want to go for it, then be my guess, but most likely we'll see Blades of the Ruined King, some Yomu's Ghost Blades, and probably a rush for Infinity Edge, and not a few cases. So I'm expecting big changes down there. Of course, a few changes and some mid lane itemization, but it's always been probably the most diverse lane. Top lane really didn't get too many changes, so we're gonna hop here into picks and bans and see what's going on with not Young Glory. I was thinking about the other team there at the bottom. It's World Elite Academy. They're in your blue on the left-hand side of your screen. Of course, they will be taking on Invictus Gaming in the red on the right.
And once again, the thing that we have seen yesterday when IG was playing Zetai goes out from his chair, goes to ban the champions himself because they have the Korean top laner right there, so he might have a little bit of misunderstandings with the Chinese guys. But yeah, so a lot of new champions, a lot of new items. It is LPL, so I would not be surprised if I saw some Essence Reaver coming out or some other crazy stuff.
I'm not gonna doubt
Ezreal.
Hey,
look at that. Kid is the main Ezreal player, and if Blue Ezreal comes back, he will be playing it.
Exactly. If there's one player to play Blue Ezreal with some of the new itemization, it's gonna be Kid. Kid is just, he's hanging on to Ezreal for dear life. He wants to make that champion happen, and against some other people's sort of guidance, he's just like, no, I'm going to make that champion work. And so Ezreal's still a possibility, but let's talk about the significance here of the bans. Big mid lane bans, but I actually want to focus on the top lane. You've got Jax and Gragas both banned out. That means you're almost guaranteed a Shyvana pick for the top lane. So it's Shyvana versus what? Now, Trundle traditionally counters Shyvana, but you don't see Trundle in the LPL all that often. I think basically never. So
anymore.
What do you do to counter out the Shyvana? What's going top lane this game?
Well, I honestly have no idea because of the changes, because I'm really expecting anything to come out right here. We have seen a match yesterday with some 3 whole new picks, and in the EU LCS we have actually seen Yorick coming out and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if some really new stuff that we haven't seen for a year comes out from.
Yeah. Now, what I'm predicting this game is something that we've seen in EU LCS. It was banned against Rockat's mid laner, and then of course it was also played by Faker yesterday, and that's Xerath. I want to see Zetai grab that champion. He's a monster on Xerath. Seen him play it quite a few times, and I'm only bringing it out here in LPL. It's a little bit new school for LPL, so might not have picked it up quite yet, but mid lane is where we're going to see the versatility, and oh man, if there was one team to learn about how to play Twisted Fate, it's going to be World Elite Academy from World Elite itself. Very good global team. Let's see if they lock in this Twisted Fate.
Yeah, so on the other side, actually, you can see Kid picking up this Kog'Maw, so he's still going for the hyper carry kind of thing.
It's the Kid Maw. See if he can bring that. The one thing I like about Kog'Maw is that he's not very mobile. And you say, well, mobility is a good thing on AD carry. I'm like, well, yeah, but Kid kind of goes the wrong direction with his mobility. He's jumped into more team fights than I can count. And with this sort of immobile Kog'Maw, he'll be forced to stay towards the back of the team and siege things up, which is a great place to put him.
Actually, wait a second. Maybe AP Kog'Maw.
No.
We have seen it played yesterday.
There's no AP.
I love this champion.
Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. It's a possibility. I love it, but I really don't feel like that's Zetai's style. He's always been more of a, I'm going to hard carry my lane and win the game off of that, rather than, let's just take it late.
Well, okay. But I would love to see this AP Kog'Maw coming out. When I saw Froggen playing it, I fell in love with that champion. I actually tried to play it myself, but I failed at it horribly. And there we go, actually, the Twisted Fate may go to IG Zetai. We have seen the Chinese players playing Twisted Fate a lot when it was still in the meta like a year ago, because there was Messiah, Zetai, everyone was playing Twisted Fate right then. And now it actually seems to be coming back.
Now, Mickey was actually hovering over that Twisted Fate, so World Elite Academy thinking about it, but honestly, I don't know, I don't think it would have meshed very well, and now it's actually Mickey that gets the chance to counterpick Zetai. Hovering over a Zed right now, I'm not sure if he'll lock it in. We haven't seen Zed in a little bit of a while, but it's looking good to get locked in, and no top lane pick just yet for IG. They're saving it for last, maybe. They have something up their sleeves to deal with this potential Irelia, maybe a Shyvana coming out of WEA Academy.
Yep. So this is going to be an Irelia and Khan. Yep, we had in this in his match history 2 Jaxes and 1 Irelia, and there we go, another Irelia right here. So if they ban my Jax, I will go for another champion, and just 2 right there will be enough. And Trundle, you're talking about him, and there we go, he's hovered over.
Yeah, but Trundle is traditionally counted to Shyvana, which we were talking about as kind of the big monster up in the top lane. I'd expect to see a Shiv, but Irelia actually does really well against Shyvana. Shyvana likes to build resistances, and Irelia does true damage, so it's a pretty good way to go. And so instead, we're just going to see the Trundle lock-in. I was talking about him, haven't really seen him. He disappeared from this split of LPL, and looks like he is back. So, Youngsu, I'm looking for some good things. Trundle does okay against Irelia, but Irelia gets free true damage from He10 style, so having a little bit less AD really isn't going to impact that as much as it would almost any other champion.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I'm actually a little bit more excited for the Zed pick coming out right there. So Mickey God is the god of the solo queue in Korea, and Zed is such an awesome champion that requires a little bit of mechanics. So we'll see if he can provide that. Of course, we have also a Lee Sin on Soist, who is the guy that we were talking so many good things about. So also the mechanics. Oh, the good stuff coming out from World Elite Academy in the picks right here. But is it going to be the better comp? That is the question. Because, of course, these are the new Korean players coming in. 2 new guys. The communication might still be an issue, and we have seen it being an issue in other teams with the Korean players. So... yeah, we'll see. And actually, talking about this Twisted Fate too, we have seen World Elite picking up a new mid laner who didn't have communication with the team and going for the Twisted Fate in his first game. And a lot of people criticized it. So, well, maybe that's why World Elite Academy didn't go for it, because they don't really have the synchronization.
Well, the other thing about that is that, keep in mind, Mickey God's been kind of moving around a little bit. He's been top, or he's been top jungle, mid, just about everywhere in his professional competitive setting. He's practiced all those roles, so it's always a mystery to see which role he's going to be playing for World Elite Academy. This time it's mid, so he's been around. He's no longer in the jungle. He's in mid. He'll be playing here for World Elite Academy versus Invictus Gaming. So let's go ahead and get on into the game. We'll be loading in right now. WEA Academy, of course, on the left. We'll be facing off against Invictus Gaming. They'll be coming your way on the right. Let's go ahead and hop into the game. Game number 1 of a best of 2 series here in the LPL. Of course, broadcast in English here on Twitch TV. Brought to you in part by our friends at Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia.
Alright, so as you said, Khan picking up this Irelia. So on the other hand, we have the Trundle, who you said will not be doing as well as he could have been against Shyvana. So, well, Khan seems to be the better one, the hope of World Elite Academy in the lanes right here. So we'll see if he crushes the top lane, and then Mickey, if he does well in the middle lane. This is actually going to be a good game to pick up for World Elite Academy.
Now, keep in mind, IG, they got off of a 1-1 split yesterday versus, it was a Starhorn. And Starhorn, they're up in the top 4, man. Those guys are doing so well this split. Having some issues, but they're still up there, still looking good. So, IG, they've got the potential to split against just about every team.
Look at that. There is no Flash and Ghost on Zetai already. And look at his health bar. He's regenning up right now. I don't know what happened right there. I just saw the mini-map and I saw his spells going.
Yeah, he ran up there and he's like, well, why don't I just try to... Oh, wait, I'm way out of position. Flash and Ghost, like you said, double evasive summoner spells gone. He's back to base, and that takes the pressure off the map. You can see very aggressive positioning from Soist, who's gone up there to at least check things out. Now, he'll be returning back to the mid lane. Where is he going to go? It looks like he wants to go for the red buff steal, but... Okay, he's just zoning out Zetai.
Okay. He's going to get scouted out, but well... He's in such a dangerous position right now. He doesn't have a flash, doesn't have a ghost, doesn't have anything to run away with. He has just one man stun. So I think that Soist is gonna gank this middle lane quite soon.
Yeah, mid lane is... you have double defensive summoner spells, and they're gone level 1. So as much as you wanted to stay alive, well, now it's just that much more risk. And honestly... Mickey God, I've been looking for a big performance. Maybe mid lane's the lane where he's going to find this, but he's up against Zetai, and even without either one of those summoner spells, I mean, that guy's just a monster. He's been a legend for so long, and he's actually been posting the biggest numbers on IG, even in some cases, outshining Kit. So it's definitely something to work out for. Although with no summoner spells, will make it happen.
Yeah, so I also wanted to point out that Zetai, he came back to the base, but he still didn't have full health coming into the lane, and he's losing a little bit more. And Mickey is poking him up. He doesn't really care about mana because he has the energy, so this is a really favorable matchup at the moment for Mickey, in my opinion at the moment. But later on, Zetai might be the better one with the ultimates to the other lanes.
Well, really, just look at World Elite Academy. What's been the defining characteristic of their team all split long? It's that they want to win lane and win the game off of that. If they crush you in lane hard enough, then they just snowball it into a victory, and they don't really have to go through those complex thoughts of how exactly am I going to wind up snowballing this game? How do I close it out? Which is one of the big weak points. So every single one of their champions are lane bullies. You've got Lucian Braum, an incredible lane bully comp. Zed versus TF is just so Zed favored early on, it's ridiculous. And then you have Lee Sin in the jungle, outduels almost everyone. Irelia top lane, especially versus Trundle, is probably the most even lane out there, but World Elite Academy, they want to win their lanes. And IG are saying, no, we're going to lane swap on you, and that's going to get our AD carries where we want to, get ourselves into this mid game, and more importantly, get Kid a lane that he wants.
Yeah, exactly, because Source has to back up the top lane at the moment, so there's no early gank coming out to the middle lane, and actually this Ghost will be up in just a second.
Okay, so Illusion walked out of the bottom lane. He's like, oh, let me drop a sweeper on this bush. Oh, there's a ward here. That's cool. I'm just gonna chill. Didn't clear the ward out. Now, Sois actually puts pressure on Kitties.
Yeah, he's dealing a little bit of damage, but he can't really go balls deep right there.
Oh, he's still putting that down. Takes Kitties to half HP.
Ooh.
Sounds kind of weird when you say that Sois is pressuring Kitties. It's like, does he not like kitties? Or is he just not a cat person? I don't know. But he's pushing Thresh away out of that upper jungle.
Yeah, so Illusion is in the bottom lane, and he couldn't actually do anything about it, and Kid can't lose anything anymore in the middle lane. So it's got a good chance of actually taking Kitties down right there, or actually taking at least one summoner spell. Didn't manage to do that, but he may be looking for some kill on the top.
And honestly, all that World Elite have to do is just put on enough pressure early on so that when they want to make their big play to dominate the lanes, they're in position to do it. And you see, Sois has been very aggressive top lane, but I don't really think that's put IG behind it all. I mean, if you look at IG, like they've had their solo laner, Trundle, double jungling. Now he's actually solo jungling while Illusion looks for a gank around mid.
You know, so a lot of rotations coming out right here. So Sois was in the top lane helping out Kant, and was in the middle lane taking a little bit of damage onto Mickey and then onto Kitties. And now Illusion, he's once again in the middle lane, so the junglers are kind of trying, but they can't really gank. So this destroys the definition of a jungler, because they are just there. They're becoming another laner, actually, at the moment.
So in somewhat of an irony, you've got junglers who are laners now. Laners, the solo top laners, who are now jungling a lot more. And in the bottom lane, it's Trundle trying to fight off against Braum. Of course, SMLZ is there, but he's just trying to keep up in CS and really continue to out CS Kid, who has had a lane all to himself for a long time.
Yeah, that's really good, especially against the Kog'Maw. But still, I think that they would like to shut him down a little bit more than just win in CS. Because this Kog'Maw is still going to get a little bit better in the late game. And we have seen this Kog'Maw coming back in the LPL already.
Yeah, just the 2v1s. I don't really think that a lot of LPL teams really know how to punish those 2v1s and keep hyper carries from hyper carrying. Of course, World Elite are going to try to do it by putting some pressure down bottom lane. No contest on that dragon, but it is going to be a nice pull in there. UJ is going to try to get back out of that fight as he drops down very, very low. But oh my goodness, this is not going to be what they want. As a little bit too aggressive there. Young Su now going to be forced to flash over this wall. Takes the Q. No follow-up though. No Lee Syndrome out there from the Celeste.
There was the teleport coming up from Can though, and I don't know why he didn't go for it. He just stayed right there in the top lane. Well, Kog'Maw can't really interrupt his teleport, so well, Maybe they could have got a little better fight right there, but still, the guy using up his ultimate, he didn't teleport into the fight, but actually somewhere off to the side. He couldn't even help his team, so a little bit of a mispositioning from IG, and they didn't have the means to contest for this dragon, and they still went for it. That's why they got punished, and that's not just a kill in the dragon, it's the first blood in the dragon, so a ton of gold coming into World Elite Academy's pockets.
All right, well, now we got this and a whole lot more. World Elite in the lead, but honestly, I don't like where World Elite Academy are right now. They should be like between top lane turrets. They should be going for these crazy dives. Look at it crush the early game, because if IG just lose a little bit, maybe they lose out on CS, maybe they lose a dragon or a kill or two, that's not something that they're going to worry about. And in kind of a flashback to the IG versus LGD game from a couple of weeks ago, all IG really have to do is sit back. If they don't lose this game in the first 15 minutes, they're just going to crush it down later on.
Yeah, so that's the Kog'Maw coming back that I was talking about, actually. So, yeah, like you said, they should be diving in the top between the turrets, and actually we have Khan just trying to CS against a CS in Kog'Maw. This pretty much doesn't make sense right there. He was going for a little bit of an aggression, but he can't go for a 3-1v1. But still, he was there on the dragon, but I didn't actually see him anywhere else as of yet. He is still going for the jungle, going for a little bit of damage, but not going for the ganks. And once again, the junglers, that is the thing. They are doing pretty much nothing. Even when they were helping the laners, they were not doing much.
And look at, like, every single champion on World Elite has huge dive potential. Braum to tank things up while the rest of his team dives, and just Zed Lee Sin, like, if that doesn't scream dive, I don't know what does. But they really haven't left their lanes all that much, and even Soist, he's been putting pressure on the jungle, but he's really just been pressuring kitties, so... One good thing is that World Elite Academy have limited the effectiveness of Zatai. He's been sitting mid, farming things up, and he's about on even gold, even though he's without that even CS, just because of that stacked deck passive. Has it been, oh, there's the all-in attempt onto Zatai, but Mickey God only chunks down about half his HP, thanks to that Seeker's Arm Guard.
Yeah, and he lost a lot more to the turret right there, because he got another hit when he was teleporting out, so that's kind of weird. And Khan gets... hooked up by kitties right there in the top lane, has to use his ultimate. So what I wanted to say about World Elite Academy, I don't know what they have in their minds, but we have seen teams like that in the LCS actually talking that they were doing well, but then they lost too many matches. So they were not playing to win, they were playing not to lose, and then they're going for everything to just win. And actually World Elite Academy, in my opinion, they're at the stage of playing not to lose still.
Oh,
because
TP coming in top lane. Here's the dives, but it's IG getting it done. Zatai going underneath the turret. The Kid forced to heal. Flash. There's the damage from that ultimate Kid. Locking down Khan. There's the first gank of the game. It's successful for Zatai. So, great job by Zatai. The commentators were pointing out earlier, almost 30% CDR with just those Ionian boots of lucidity. He's going to be throwing a lot of gold cards. I think they have like a 4-second cooldown when you finish, a 3.6-second cooldown with max CDR. That is a lot of CC coming out of Zatai.
The good thing for IG is not actually the kill, is the additional gold for Kog'Maw, because on the other side, World Elite Academy, they took down a turret in the bottom lane. So, well, IG not coming out on top of that, but they are coming out on top of that partially with this Kog'Maw getting a kill. So getting a little bit more gold, getting a little bit closer to this power spike, to being the hyper carry.
Yep, and here we go as we get into the mid game. This is where World Elite Academy need to crush something or other. They had a great dragon fight earlier, so that's step one, but it won't matter if IG are able to either pressure them off the dragon, keep them from taking turrets, or really just keep them from making a game-winning push here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Because you got Kog'Maw late game, and when you set up for that Kog'Maw with a box, with another box, it's a double box comp with Cataclysm and, of course, the box from Kitties. Like, there's just too much of a wall in front of Kid for the World Elite Academy to be able to touch him.
Yeah, well, World Elite Academy still Well, look at that. Look at where they are. They are trying to look for the dive, but there's too many players of
Yeah,
IG.
kick on to Kitties, takes him out, and there's the further dive deep underneath that turret. Of course, Mickey God knows when to get out there, heals up, and is able to hit that R death mark to get away. Now, UJ is going to have to be very, very careful. He is starting to flash on out of here. A lot of damage down there with the Living Shadow. It's Mickey throws it backwards. He actually goes down to the tie deep in the back. Now, SMLZ running for his life. Looks like he will make it out alive. Khan taking some damage, needs the Blade Surge to something, but it wasn't on cooldown. There's that knockup. Kid's gonna take this one down. Last auto attack. No, it's Young-Soo there with the kill. 5-3 in a nice team fight. Goes 2 for 1 for World Elite.
Yeah, the Wildcards taking 2 kills right there with just 1 strike. That was beautiful, and I actually got 3 kills and not 2. And they will take a dragon because it was a bad timing from World Elite Academy. So that's what I wanted to say before the fight started. World Elite are looking for the dive, but there's too many IG players right there, and it turned around. Not in their favor, definitely.
Now we're going to see a little bit of a replay here on the kick that sends Kitties to his untimely demise, or kind of just baits the rest of the team in there. So Kitties explodes at the beginning of the fight, but look at Soist. He invested so much in that game, or in that kick, that he just dies to Kitties after he tries to escape. Now Mickey got a little bit too low, tries to stay in the fight, and you'll see him throw out a Living Shadow here. It really stops a lot of the IG aggression. Really good slowing down Illusion, but he's just too low, and there's the tie. He gets ignited, but he backs out just in the nick of time, and Khan comes in and kills him, but at that point, he's already picked up so much value off those wild cards. A nice kill by Khan as he came in here, but he sacrifices his own life again. So really just a great kill, finishing that out by IG. Now we got another kill, or another team fight happening up here in the top lane. Of course, it does look like, oh, UJ is gonna fall there, kid. Very, very low. Can he get out of this one alive? No, the roam from Mickey. Good enough to take him down. So great positioning there. Mickey makes that trade a 2-for-1 exchange. Of course, Kitties being the first to die did not last very long at all.
Okay, so in the previous dive for Elite Academy in the middle lane, they actually, I don't know if they didn't realize that Illusion was there on the backside. Near the inner turret, but then actually Kid was really close to the fight. He was roaming from this top lane to the middle for a long time already.
Oh, the smite steal from Soist made a brave attempt, but yeah, like you said, not really worth it at all. We got TPs just to scout things out. Safeguard away there. Soist on the great escape. Can he make it out of here? He's got 3 seconds left until Safeguard comes off cooldown again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he goes the other direction. SMLZ is now caught between a rock and another rock as the pillar comes out there. Turret gonna stop him from escaping. Young-Soo, oh my gosh. All right, so Trundle kind of pillars himself in there at the same time. He goes down, but it's still a 1-for-2 and probably turret in favor of IG.
Well, with the double auto attack from Lucian, I actually think that the stun came out from Braum. That's why Young-Soo died right there. But still, the double buff rotation continues with Soist giving it away to Illusion because this Javan actually got the kill on the backside of the fight. But, well, what a chaotic fight.
Chaos kind of defines this game. We're 15 minutes in and we're already off to a pretty standard LPL game. You got tons of team fighting, crazy dives, and it was a little bit slow to start for World Elite Academy, but looks like they're picking up the action already. 14 kills in 15, 16 minutes, so good start. IG looking to clear out their jungle and sort of reestablish themselves because they've actually lost 2 turrets here. They've been trying to go for those big aggressive pushes and it worked out top lane, but World Elite Academy is still the one with the objective lead.
By a little bit, of course, because it's just a difference of 1 turret, which is pretty much also 1 dragon, so anything that the IG might get right here will get the gold back to even. But it's not even that they want to get, of course, they want to get the advantage. But actually, it's pretty much World Elite Academy who would want more to get a lead right there because they have the early to mid-game comp. And IG, on the other hand, they are good with just sitting back and waiting for the late game to come because you have actually already seen Kid owning right there. If not the Mickey roam, it would have been more kills for him in the top lane fight.
Oh man, I was looking for Mickey God to step up. He's had some good roams, like he was top lane in the second to last fight. Made some plays there. Now it's all about the double golem steals and oh, the Smite's good for illusion. He's going to grab that one away. But nobody's paying attention to Zatai. Zatai is pushing the mid lane. Meanwhile, you've got Khan down in the bottom lane. He's going to be pushing away. And it's the 5-man roam for World Elite Academy. Oh, can they take down Zatai? Let's see what summoners he's got. He's going to try to ult out of here. Gets kicked out of it immediately. Oh my gosh. It wasn't even a kick, I don't think. Oh yeah, it was. It was Soas getting in there. Finds the pick and the kick on to Zatai. Takes him out. It's a 4v5, but World Elite Academy aren't doing anything off the back of that, so nice pick, but no result.
Well, he got the turret, which is good for IG, but he went down, and actually he got both of his summoner spells up, so I think it was a little bit of a misplay from Zatai. He could have stayed alive and actually pulled 5 members of World Elite Academy away from the top lane, which would have been really great. But at the moment, he still died. It's kind of bad. He could have like flashed over the wall into the Wraith Pit or just ghosted away a little bit further to pull off this gate.
Yeah,
he didn't do that. He
there
went down.
really wasn't any way he was going to get that gate off. Like, he was close, to be fair. Oh, and Yongsu's going to come in here. I believe there was actually ward coverage to scout that out, so Yongsu kind of knew he had the rest of his team at his back. He wasn't too scared in there. IG will secure their blue buff, but can they secure the dragon after this?
Yeah, that is the question. 30 seconds left to the dragon, and both of the teams have picked up one up until now, so maybe a big team fight is going to happen right there.
Blue
Yeah,
buff, of
Sonic
course,
Waves
it's
coming, I think so.
yeah, blue buff's there. Sonic Waves continuing to push in, so it's just poking him out. Has big steal potential, but it's just continuing to be so annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
And look
oh
at
my
Dragon.
gosh. Yeah,
Dragon 5 seconds.
World Elite Academy, they stalled. They did a great job of it. Dragon's
They're going
live.
for the dragon. The pings are coming out and they are in the pit already. And will IG be there on time? Well, they have the world covered, so they know what's going on. But well, that's a
Nice
weird
culling.
situation.
Out there on to Kid. Caught him down a little bit. Of course, he'll be able to lifesteal up. So I want to say World Elite Academy, they've stalled out very nicely. They're in great position here for Dragon, but they didn't clear that little pixel bush by the Dragon. I think people are
Both
calling
lines
that the
went
pixel
down.
bush. So we'll see.
Both knights went down though, so there was no dragon attempt for a while, I think.
Khan backing out a ward. So IG know that World Elite Academy aren't sticking around for this.
Yeah, and this time once again pulling some people out there to the bottom lane.
Mickey's still hanging around. World Elite just missed that ward there in the pixel bush. It's so huge for IG. It gave them a free trip through there to clear out the ward coverage. And now it's actually IG. They're going to be able to take down this dragon. Or at least they should. I mean, there's TP coming in there. UJ's getting in the front lines. SMLZ, of course, great positioning there in the back. The box is out. A lot of slow coming in there. Zonya's Hourglass, perfect timing there from Zatai. He's got the ghost to stay alive with the gold card to get back into the fight. Hasn't tossed it out just yet. It actually runs out just at the worst time. Flash over the wall, red buff's ticking down. He's got a health potion and he stays alive and gates back to base. Soas gets out of there alive as well.
Look at that, the pings on the Baron.
Oh no, oh, World Elite Academy, don't do it. If you guys are new to watching LPL, you know that it can't end without at least one Baron. That's exactly where World Elite Academy are going. Illusion's dead, and of course Yongsu's dead as well, and this could be their opportunity to turn around this game.
Okay, so I thought that World Elite are going to lose that fight because Soist, he went for the Sonic Wave for the dragon, which was already dead, and he missed that out completely. Actually, you said that the Zatai ran out from the gold card, but he actually did hit it, and that's why he stayed alive. And well, World Elite, they are securing the Baron somehow. Look at that. Look at Soist throwing out the Q. Missed completely.
Yeah, so it's not the most spectacular performance here. And look at SMLZ, man. He just DPSs so hard from the back for so long. Nobody touches that guy. And he kills Yongsu, who's the big beefy tank. Then he actually is able to chase Zatai all the way out of the fight. Almost kills him. Like one little tick. Almost taking him out there. So SMLZ with a huge fight there. And great body blocking by UJ, who just jumped into the fight. Went totally man mode, maximum mustache level. Top lane though, Kid gonna go down in the 1v1. Flash in there by Khan to take him down. Khan with a nice kill onto that IGAD. Now Yongsu forced to run away.
Why?
I'm not
okay.
Oh, he's got backup, so Khan knows he's got some help coming in. And by help, I mean the entire rest of his team. Yangsu should have kept running for the hills, but a little bit too much trolling up there for the Troll King. And now World Elite Academy off their Baron buff. Good luck to take down yet another turret.
This game is so twisted. It is just incredible. On the dragon fight, some people stayed alive who shouldn't have stayed alive, and some people didn't. And then the Baron, and then actually I saw this Thresh, so I was like, why is Khan still going for a 1v2? But then there's the whole World Elite Academy lineup out of nowhere, and they are getting even more kills, and yet another turret, and now they're still going for the aggression, and it's just incredible. So much action in one game, and look at that, World Elite coming out on top.
Big rotations from World Elite Academy. They win a dragon fight, and they're just like, oh, did we get the dragon? Did we not get the dragon? Did we win the fight? Did we not? They're not thinking about that. They have their eyes on the prize, rotate immediately to Baron, to top lane for the pick, crush down the top lane second tier turret. Now they're on the second tier mid.
And they will most probably take it without any problems, and if IG engage right here, World Elite will be more than happy with that.
Exactly. World Elite, they don't even have to fight. They can just run away. There's no hard CC that's going to catch out on a Mickey unless he's like standing next to Zatai. If he gets hit by the slow from the pillar or even maybe knocked up by illusion or even the ultimate, you just dash away. So you can't catch the AD, can't catch the mid laner. Pretty much the only guy you're going to pick is UJ, but he's actually the one going in to start the fights and never want to engage too much on the tank. Of course, Khan there to engage the fights as well. World Elite Academy, they're looking strong. They've taken down almost every turret outside the base for IG, and IG just kind of struggling to find themselves here in the first game of this best of 2 series.
Yeah, they have this twisted fate, but they are using the ultimate to actually run away, to bait out the members and not to be there to defend the turrets. And look at that, the stack on the bottom lane coming up from World Elite Academy. They will be taking the last inner turret, most probably for free right there. But they are looking for some aggression, and that is a little bit over greedy in my opinion. Should just take the turret.
Yeah, exactly. Just hang back. Like, you don't really have to do anything if you're World Elite. Just be careful, be patient, and take down one turret after another. Very aggressive there. You can see coming around the side. Kid was so scared. He just like puked up some Voidoos. It's like, I don't want you guys coming my way. He's hanging back towards the back, but being passive is not going to win you this game for IG. It might have early on, but after that Dragon to Baron to turret combo rotation that World Elite Academy made, IG are on the back foot.
Yeah, so Zatai once again using up this ultimate to try and run away from the fight, and then he was in around mid lane or top lane. He was not bottom, and then when he actually was bottom, the turret was already gone. So that is a big mispositioning coming up from IG. The dragon will be coming in a minute though, and they are in the top lane. So well, World Elite Academy can try and create some vision around the dragon pit, but look at that, they are not even trying. Well, underneath the turrets, they have a tough position, but World Elite Academy, if they want to go for an engage, I don't think that there is any problem right there, because if there is the questionable positioning of Kid, he gets blown up immediately. He gets a Sonic Wave into a kick, into a Death Mark coming in from Zed, and this is going to be the end of him. So, well, World Elite Academy, they may lose one member, but they don't really care if they get Kid, who is the main point.
Oh, Zatai top lane's gonna get that Lantern. Holy cow, perfect gold card into Lantern. So he could take that one down, so really good play there by Zatai, but he's got to keep an eye out on a Mickey. And to be honest, World Elite Academy playing this low CC comp perfectly. They crush down team fights when they happen by forcing objectives, and they take the turrets off of IG being a little bit too passive, and now they're split pushing instead of looking to team fight against a much better AoE team. So really just great calls here. World Elite making all the right plays.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, Mickey was on the push when Zitai was not there. World Elite Academy, every single time when they go for a push, Zitai is simply not there. He has the perfect clear with the red cards and with the wild cards. Of course, you could have seen it right now. But he's just not there to defend the turrets. It is going to be a little bit more tough with the inhibitor ones, but World Elite Academy, they're still playing the map perfectly.
Still, the inevitability is there. Eventually, Kid will get a second item. But when you're on your Cogmon, you're thinking to yourself, gosh, I wish I had a second item. And then you realize that their Lucian, SMLZ, he's got 3 already completed. He didn't even pick up his second tier boots. He's like, why do I need attack speed boots when I can get that from completing 3 items in a row? That static shift really helping him out. And crit just not a stat that the Kid will be effective with for a long time.
Alright, so World Elite Academy, they will be looking for this Baron right now, and maybe a pick. On Illusion, that would have been a perfect one.
Would have been, but nobody in range for Illusion just yet. TP down to the bottom lane though. We've got Khan. A little bit scared, but once again, okay, you got TPs, and there's the Destiny. Of course, Destiny for World Elite is a Baron buff. Illusion comes in, no steal. Holy cow, that was close. But a great smite from Soist. Going back in, there's the death mark coming out. Zanya's hourglass is perfect, but Zitai just way out of position. Hit that Zanya's and knew he wasn't going to be able to make it out alive. Blade of the Ruined King there on a Kid. Can't run away, and no peel for the Kog'Maw. World Elite Academy, perfect use of Baron Nashor to draw IG out of their base and force that team fight, even if they don't have a lot of hard engage. And now with 3 members dead there for IG, there's nothing stopping World Elite Academy from pushing into the base.
Yeah, definitely. They will get at least 1 inhibitor right here, but I don't think that they can finish off the game. Yeah, they got a pickup on Illusion in the end, but actually the rule of stealing the Baron, you can't run away alive from there. So Illusion had the Lantern from Thresh, so he could have run away from the Baron pit with stealing this one. That is actually a thing that I noticed in the LPL. Every time someone tries to go for the steal, he dies.
World Elite Academy, man, they've just been using these objectives. It's like World Elite Academy, they picked a light CC team, but with heavy lane pressure. Like, they wanted to win their lane, but if it came to late game team fights, they were actually weaker than IG on an even footing. But they've been using these global objectives to draw out IG. That time it was a catch, a big pick onto on a Zitai. Zitai was forced to Zanya's way out of position, and IG, instead of fighting around him, they just ran off. They knew they didn't want to fight, and just kind of left him out to dry. And of course, one after another, IG kept on losing champions. So you got to turn this around and actually fight team fights instead of getting picked off and running away.
This World Elite Academy now with the Baron buff, getting 1 inhibitor, which is not too much, to be honest. I kind of expected something more to go down, but the death timers were so small. It's still the 30th minute, just now. The first Baron actually went down at 21, so, well, that's a really early one.
Look at the individual performances a little bit. You can see just the carry lineup straight up carrying for World Elite. And honestly, or World Elite Academy, rather. Honestly, after World Elite Academy, they're just like, hey, let me just go ahead and pick up new everything. They changed things around just a little bit. Oh, the Death Sentence onto Soist there, looking for the pick. They grab him out, take him down, and now it's actually Illusion looking for another pick as he thinking about going in on to UJ, but didn't follow up. Perfect bait around that wall. Great pick by IG.
Awkward. That was awkward. He didn't have his team, he didn't have the minions, yet goes to the front line and tries to throw out a Sonic Wave. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's like,
as if he would have
hey.
got anything of that.
Yeah, not a big believer there. Of course, Khan actually having a really good game here. He was able to put that split pressure on top lane and keep it up even when World Elite Academy had to retreat when Soist died. And if you look bottom lane, that's just Mickey's land. It's like Walt Disneyland in the bottom lane. Mickey, he is definitely in charge down there.
Right, so Mickey will be split pushing right there. So now that he has the destiny at the moment, pretty much, because they can't even come out of their base, so his gate will not really be useful for this Twisted Fate.
Oh, and there's the
that
death sentence. Look at Young-Soo just blown apart. Now Zatai is coming in here trying to kill off Mickey.
But Mickey, why?
Mickey, why? Mickey, he's so fine, but oh, there's the cards. Tried to take out Zatai, but Ghost, pretty good spell there. And so Zatai wins that 1v1, but Mickey picks up the kill on Young-Soo. And now with no tank and coming out from SMLZ, top turret cracked, and World Elite Academy looking to take down their first inhibitor of the game. And there's Braum Ultimate just to create a little bit of a zone here. Look at Khan, he's just going all the way, trying to get out of here now. But he's got backup jumping into the pit. It's like, you're not locked in here with me. I'm, well, locked in here with you.
Huge double kill.
Double kill for UJ. That's what he deserves from getting there. When Aurelia overdove there, she was way out of line. UJ's just like, look, we're not in here. You're not in here by yourself. I'm gonna jump in. You had Soas jumping in there too, and really everybody just came to the rescue. Look at Khan, he's forcing out that Zanya's Hourglass, and oh, poor Zatai grabs a kill for himself there on a UJ, but this should be the game for World Elite Academy.
Okay, so now I understand why Mickey did that, because he tried to draw IG away from his lineup so they can take the top turret down, but it was so weird. He jumped in, then he actually noticed that someone is going for him, then he jumped out right into Zatai's face, but he had the flash, so I had hope that he could run away, but then he still died. But it was all about the time and not about staying alive, but still, World Elite Academy can't really close it out.
As a split pusher, your effectiveness just draws the enemy team to you. So if the rest of your team's ready to capitalize when they go in, oh, an attempt on an insect, can't quite get in there. Mickey God, the God, able to get in there, and oh, Zatai about to respawn here. There's 2 inhibitors down. World Elite Academy.
3 right now.
They just run back away. Oh yeah, that's right. They picked up mid too. So, gosh, nothing left in the base there for IG, trying to find a pick here. Zatai's just gonna go in.
They're gonna go for him
desperately. He's gonna go down, and is that the pick that World Elite need to get taken out of here? Oh, Dragon straight on a Young-Soo. You are not fighting a fight World Elite don't want you to.
Yeah, and IG will be trying to chase, but I don't think they can pull it off. However, SMLZ doesn't have any mana. Wow.
Mickey was trying to go back in there, but you can't take your eyes off Khan. Like, I don't understand how Khan does this kind of stuff. He's even looking to Blade Surge back in for the re-engage. Of course, UJ not going to find that. He continues the jumps in through the minions. Looking like a Yasuo jumping through every single one. Death Sentence is in there. Death Mark, rather.
It is the end.
And that's the end of the game. Super Minions, even if the champions hadn't died, would have been the end of the game there for World Elite Academy, who will find their second win of LPL. Here in the 5th week, 2nd day versus Invictus Gaming.
And I have no idea how World Elite Academy killed Young-Soo right there. He's the tankiest member of IG's lineup, and he was there chasing for the kills, and he actually went down, and IG lost this one. And actually, look at that. Zatai, he tried to gate in, he got caught, and then Kid was trying to chase for someone a little bit more, and they turned around even on him. So World Elite Academy, they were not running away at all. They were trying to once again draw the attention of IG, and then the minions finished the work. That was a perfect play from World Elite Academy, and they're looking really strong right here.
So I'm actually going to go ahead and check out the standings. Of course, with that win, World Elite Academy actually skyrocketed themselves from last place into a tie for last place. So it's a little bit anticlimactic, but to find a win against IG, granted they're in 6th place and having some questionable plays this season, that's actually pretty darn impressive. I mean, I'm impressed. And in fact, if you look at the commentators, all 3 of those Chinese commentators picked 2-0 wins for IG versus WE Academy, but can't bet against the last place forever, and World Elite Academy will find their 2nd win of LPL. And they'll be looking to make it, instead of just grabbing 1 point, grabbing 3. They will take on Invictus Gaming in another game. Of course, that game coming up after a short break. So stick around. I think we're going to throw up one more video for you during this intermission, but we'll be right back with game number 2. Invictus Gaming versus World Elite Academy. Hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll be right back with game number 2. Looking, but we're not actually thinking about replacing anybody just yet. Our team's doing great. They have been doing good, but I don't know. With OMG at the top, what do you think is going to be the really big next team to sort of try to catch them for first place?
Well, just look at the standings. We have such powerhouses as Edward Gaming on the 4th place, World Lead on the 2nd right now. In the previous split, actually World Lead and Invictus Gaming were kind of struggling to get up there to the top of the standings. Right now, World Lead is looking so strong. This hero coach is helping them a lot, of course. They are also bringing a lot of new stuff to the table. Actually, I think that they were the first ones to play Nami for quite a long time in the LPL. Well, Starhorn, they are bringing Insec, and they're still in this kind of midpoint where they're not the best and not the worst. They are still developing all the time. They need to develop the communication at most, and then they will be looking for this first spot. And OMG is definitely not secure up there because Edward Gaming, they seem to be beating them at all the LAN parties. They won at IET, they won at IEM qualifiers and all the stuff like that. But Edward Gaming is actually at 4th place, so they will be looking for some more points for themselves, definitely.
And I think there is a big difference between the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams. LGD kind of the wild card, but they and Invictus Gaming have a little bit of a history, stemming back to a couple of weeks ago when IG should have won their best of 2 versus LGD, but threw both of the games super hard. So LGD, they're going to be playing in our 2nd series versus EDG, and I gotta say, in the battle of the triple letter acronyms, I think LGD can pull a little bit of an upset. EDG as sort of the bottom of the top 4, of course, sitting in 3rd place right there. They've got some things to work on, let's put it that way. So we'll see exactly what they can do. LGD, they got the 2-0 victory a couple of weeks ago over IG. Got themselves up to, I think at the time it was 3rd place, but as the tiebreakers change up, then it's changed around just a little bit. So LGD, they got some work to do, but that should be actually a really good series to watch. I'm excited to see that. I think LGD can pull it back. EDG, of course, or if you lose, you get 0. So I should clarify that. So not looking good.
You lose the 3 points that you could get for winning.
Exactly. So there's potential 3 points that you could get that you just don't get anymore. And of course, you can see down at the bottom of the standings, Young Glory and World Elite Academy, both with very few points in their columns. World Elite actually World Elite Academy actually 11 points behind their sister team there in World Elite, who's currently sitting at 2nd place. So OMG, they've really gotten a hand on not only just the top of the standings, but really I feel like they've meshed back in with Cool on their team. With Jiang for so long in the previous split, he really stepped up and did a great job there in the mid lane. But when Cool came back in, it was a little bit of growing pains to get him reiterated back into the team, or reintegrated back into the team. Now Cool's back, the team's back, everything's looking good. And honestly, OMG are one of the only teams that haven't gone out and gotten a Korean player. They actually made several statements on their Weibo and several other posts saying, hey, we're not maybe by our friends at Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia. My name is Rapid. I'm here with Nero, and we're going ahead and start jumping into our first set of the evening. It's going to be a game between World Elite Academy and Invictus Gaming. You can see the show starting up there on your stream. So while we go over a few of the highlights, we'll let you guys see those on stream and here in a second. Let's go ahead and check out some of these standings. And to be honest, last week we saw a very big contrast in these standings, Nero, but with some teams sort of solidifying themselves as the best, and of course down there at the bottom as well. It's nice to see things like shaping up instead of having big ties everywhere.
Yeah, there's still going to be things mixing up later on after the games today, and there's still some catching up left for Invictus Gaming, so that's a really good game for them to win. And actually they're looking a little bit shaky, so we'll see. World Elite Academy, they have a good chance of winning this one, especially if they're picking up some experienced players. For example, in the top lane they have Khan, well, they have Mickey God from the solo queue. In the middle lane or jungle, we actually don't really know just of yet where he's going to be playing, because they are experimenting with the players all the time. But World Elite Academy, they're looking fresh right now, like really bringing a lot of new stuff to LPL. On the other hand, LGD is looking kind of good. They won some really interesting matchups, but lately they have fallen down by a little bit. On the other hand, of course, EDG, they had kind of weak previous week, but now they're coming back into strength with the IEM qualifiers. They went beast mode against OMG, so we'll see. There's still everything to be said in the standings. There's definitely going to be some changes right there.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about, so we got two matchups coming your way. It's two best of twos. If you guys are unfamiliar with the way that the LPL rankings work, it's best of two series. If you win, you get 3 points. If you win both games, you get 3 points. If you tie, each team gets 1 point. And of course, if you lose, then you lose 3 points. Of course, that is not the way to get yourself all the way up to the top of the standings. So it is not looking good for quite a few of these teams.